If you were going to chop down a tree, would you use that same axe that you have there?
This one, yep.
And then you would just do a wedge like you did on one side, and then you go to the other and try to get it down?
That's another class completely.
Oh, okay.
Well, I want to see that one too.
He doesn't
Go
say
to Cody's
timber.
No, probably not.
I'm going to try to hurry this up, so I'm not going to go for quality at all. So
Well, we thought you were going.
we only have so much time.
Might be
I've
easier to
learned that
start
these
on.
knots are really hard,
What's your cord?
and I've been learning to chop around them. Like I'd put another wedge right here, and just right on the edges of these knots, and then I'd skip those knots and try to take them out with the adze later, and the double bit. Once they're on their side, I try to just whack away at them and get them cleaned out. Because when you're chopping with this, it takes a lot of force to try to break through that thing. Oh, terrible shot. And this particular handle is a lefty, left-handed handle. I had Blaine carve this handle out for me, and I didn't realize it until after he made it, that it was a lefty. So it's a lefty. So
what makes it a lefty?
see how these handles are off-centered? They're not straight down the head, but they're slightly tilted to the left or tilted to the right. And the reason why it's doing that because you're going down the side of the tree. And there was an old saying, I don't know if I can fully remember.
Bust your knuckles?
Busting your knuckles? Like I really worked, I really busted my knuckles. That phrase came from log hewing because when they were working and they would work so close to this tree, naturally their knuckles would get skinned a lot and it would make their knuckles raw, and so they said I really busted up my knuckles because working and hewing the trees.
So it's just the alignment of the axe so that you can be offset.
Yeah.
So you're offset.
Yeah, so if I had another one that was pitched and the exact mirror of this handle, you'd probably hang it from this, well, I'm not sure, probably from this side. I'm not sure, but it would.
But if you're working on the other side of the log, you'd be standing on the other side.
Yeah, I'd
the
be
other
standing
direction.
from this direction like this,
And the axe.
and the flat part would be this way, and my knuckles would be off this way, and I'd be going right-handed.
The axe is
But
always.
this one's left-handed like this. And you still can use right-handed like this,
But it's the flat side on the inside.
but it's known as a left. I'm sure it would be easier if I had this chunk out first. But, oh, and normally you make these a little bit closer in, probably right there. Further to separate the knots down the bottom of the chunks. You know, I think at this time we only have so much time we want to bag on top of the flat part of the bag. So once you got that cleaned up like this here, you'll see that this surface, even though I chunked this part out right here, it's still not completely flat and smooth. For those who want to walk around, you can. This part isn't smooth like this. There's still some roundedness to it. There's roughness to it.
Take it all down to this surface.
Yep. So we want to take that down to a smooth edge like this.
Oh wait, you just skip that as a lost piece of lumber. Go back to your line.
Yeah. You just try to smooth it out the best you can. And I don't know how many have been into the old barns, timber frame barns from 150 years, 200 years ago. And the ones that were hewn, you can actually see somewhat of axe marks in those old hewn logs. And they're not completely. Another thing you'll notice is that they're not all uniform. The reason being is because this is the style they used, and they always didn't they didn't have a machine, you know, cutting them out all uniform the exact same size of timbers. And so many times when you go to those barns, they can be kind of close. Like if they're going to go for 9 inches, they all vary within a few inches, but they're not all precise. And that's another reason why they would mark those out, because if they were all just completely uniform, they wouldn't have to do the whole numbering system because they would just fit in perfectly because they were all just done so perfectly. But because they're all different sizes, slightly different, they all had to be Roman numeraled and marked because each one had to be custom cut out and notched and tongue grooved because of the differences. With this tool, the old shipwrights used to use these, and this is a planing tool which makes surfaces flat. And the way they used it is they would stand on top of the log after they chunked out these chunks and it would have a rough surface. They would stand on top of these logs, and what they would do is they would use one hand as like a hinge, and use this hand to control that hinge, and they would put it to the surface of the level, and they would hinge it, again between your feet, and they would simply peck away at it. So if I started here, I'd just go, and you see how it's planing off the surface? Now I could do a even thicker plane. That was just a light one, but this tool, because it's nice and sharp, it could do varying degrees of plane, you know, chunks when they take it out. And they would go across and they would smooth the top surface of this thing just by using this adze. And that's how they would smooth the surfaces out. And that's how they would create their timbers, and they would square them up. It's pretty fun. You can already see how this thing is turning into a timber, can't you?
Yes.
And all of this, not one electrical instrument, not one motorized instrument. It was all just from,
Except for the ends.
pieces of metal.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, this chainsaw.
Chainsaw ends.
What's the backside of that ad for?
Oh, it's for a pickaroo. You know what a pickaroo is? No, this one's been used so much it's antique. I haven't restored this tool yet. But usually this would be sharp, and when they would go to move a log,
Oh, it's just like
they would just, you know,
just like this.
it would stick, and they could pull on it, and that's called a pickaroo. So that's what they would use this for, as a pickaroo, to pierce the log and to be able to pull them around.
That
You know,
would
to have
be,
handle.
that would be pointed. Very
Yeah,
pointed.
this would be more pointed than what
Wouldn't
it is, but
damage the wood so much.
as you see, it's been used for many years. And all these tools, except for maybe the Collins is probably, I'm gonna guess, probably 50 years old. The broad axe has to be at least 150. It could be even 250. And the same with this. This could be anywhere between 100 to 250 years old. This tool. They're all antiques. How much time we have left?
About 6 minutes.
Okay. Start. You want to get the beam drill out of the back of the truck?
Oh,
Bring it.
Now,
So-
not wanting to waste, are you able then to burn these things in the
Oh yeah.
fire?
It's
And,
wood. You can burn them.
I mean, because
So
the
how'd they
talons
make
are pretty
pins then?
thick.
The pins. The pins were made out of a harder oak, and what they had is it was called it was like a sawhorse, and which was a pivoting system. They had this bench they would sit on, and it was like a scissors made out of wood. And when they pushed down on the pedals, they would hold something pinch really tight. And they'd stick a piece of wood in there, and they'd pinch it down, and they'd get a draw knife, and they would
Draw it round.
draw it into an octagon
Oh.
or round. Some do octagons to cut corners because it works just as good, and some of them would take the time to.
Then you have to match it, make sure it's the right size for the hole they drill.
Yeah, you usually did about an inch peg. That's what those pegs are on that building, or they're inch pegs.
Oh, that's. Oh, okay.
So she's gonna get that, and we're gonna go 5 minutes over if that's all right for those who want to. You can stay after if you want to use a beam drill. Who wants to try this one out? Come on up here.
I
Be careful and keep your feet apart and use it between your feet. Or if you have to, lift your toes a little bit so if it ever comes at you, you know, it hits the bottom of your shoe and not at your toes. And again, hinge that and just chip away at it. Peck at it like you're a woodpecker. And they would use that instrument to chip away. We only have a few minutes. I'm going to let someone else try too. Okay, we're going to let another person try. I want to give everybody the chance to get familiar with the tools.
What's that called again?
This is called an ad. It's
Rich, you're next.
A-D-Z-E. Ads.
You're next.
What's spell again?
A-D-Z-E.
Ad.
An ad. Like, I guess you can say it like I'm adding something. In a,
What's the V for?
like an ad. You know you want to, man.
Well, the guy in the yellow shirt wants to.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, you come up here and then Richard will be next.
Oh wow, wasn't expecting
He's
that.
trying to do a skim.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
To do a real thin.
Hey, Annie, can you do me a favor? Run behind there and there's a big 6x6 beam. It's just a chunk about this big.
Okay.
Want to grab that and bring it out here?
This is what you want?
Yes. And we'll probably be in Cody's class. If we're coordinated well enough, me and Cody will give everyone even more of a chance to use some of these old tools. This is a beam drill, and these beam drills are
got the
handheld
hinge.
items. This is how they would drill the hole of the beams. This is how I actually put the holes to make the mortise and tenon to slide through. I drilled the holes first, and then I came in with the cornering chisel. And the chisel, you see that cornering chisel has a straight, what is it, 45-degree angle?
Mm-hmm.
And
90.
to make the 90-degree
90.
angle. To make the edges for it to fit in, and then also the chisel. And to be able to clean up those holes and turn them into square holes rather than the round ones. Okay. Did anybody else want to try the ads? Come on, man. Too shy to ask, I know it.
Here's a.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't realize I was
No
in front of the
worries.
camera.
And what you're doing is you're just taking
It's okay.
slices just to surface it. And I've known you're a construction worker, so I know you have an understanding of some planning. It looks like you're going for the
He's
knots,
got
it's a little harder.
It is a little harder.
But you just want paper thin strips, like you're planing it. And this is how they used to. This same tool is how they built all the wood ships back in the old times. This was a normal tool known for the shipwrights. The shipwrights are the men who would work the wood to make the timber to build the wooden ships. And this is one of their favorite tools, what they would use to plane all the trees that they were using when they built it. All right.
Okay, there you go.
Nice job.
Very good.
Or he's just like, I'm done.
This here is a variation of the same tool. It's a drill, and these drill bits, if you look at the tip, they're like a screw. They're designed to poke in and to draw themselves in, so you don't push down on this thing at all. If you did push down, you'd probably bend the bit. It's self-feeding. All you have to do is just churn it, and when you churn it, it digs in. And when the screw gets in there, the screw feeds itself
And if you oil
in,
it,
and it just starts burrowing out a hole. Very simple. Well, these is the more poorer classes had these here. The problem with these is depending on your skill and your eye, depending on the pitches, could very greatly change the hole depending on how deep the log was. And so if you wanted to have more of a precision instrument, you would use a beam drill. So this beam drill, the way that it worked is it was on hinges, and they could